Breaking news from Crimea. Reports are coming in that Russian forces are fleeing the region after Ukraine's powerful new weapon, the Flamingo missile, reportedly struck key military targets. Cities are in chaos. Military bases are ablaze, and the situation is escalating rapidly. In this video, we'll take a closer look at what happened, how Ukraine executed this strike, and why the world is now watching Crimea like never before. Stay tuned for all the details. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into the dramatic developments unfolding in Crimea. According to multiple reports, Russian forces are reportedly fleeing key areas after Ukraine's Flamingo missile allegedly struck strategic locations. Witnesses describe chaotic scenes as soldiers evacuate bases and military vehicles move hastily across the region. Analysts suggest that this strike could significantly affect Russia's military presence in Crimea and alter the balance of power in the region. Ukraine claims that the Flamingo missile is precise, targeting specific installations while minimizing civilian casualties. While the full extent of the damage is still being assessed, preliminary footage shows fires at several military compounds, as well as smoke rising from areas previously thought secure. The speed and scale of the strike have surprised many experts, who emphasize that this could mark a turning point in the ongoing conflict. Social media users have shared images and videos of Russian troops abandoning positions, which is unusual given the usual strict military control in the region. Governments around the world are closely monitoring the situation, with some issuing statements urging calm and caution. Analysts also note that the psychological impact on Russian forces could be as significant as the physical damage, potentially affecting morale and future operations. Following the initial reports of the Flamingo missile strike, analysts are trying to understand the strategic implications for both Ukraine and Russia. The Flamingo missile is said to be a highly advanced weapon, capable of long-range precision strikes, and has reportedly hit multiple Russian military targets across Crimea. Observers note that such a strike demonstrates Ukraine's growing capabilities and willingness to take bold action in contested regions. Some military experts argue that the speed and efficiency of this operation could disrupt Russia's supply chains and communication networks, making it more difficult for them to coordinate defenses or respond effectively. Satellite images released by independent observers show plumes of smoke rising from military bases, while social media footage allegedly depicts Russian personnel retreating from key positions. The timing of the strike also appears significant, as it reportedly coincided with heightened international attention on Crimea and the Black Sea region. Many analysts suggest that this could be a signal to Russia, showing Ukraine's ability to strike deep within contested areas. At the same time, the operation may carry risks, including potential retaliation or escalation. Governments and global observers continue to monitor the situation carefully, issuing statements that stress the need for restraint and dialogue. For civilians in Crimea, the unfolding events are creating tension and uncertainty, with many expressing fear about the ongoing conflict and the potential for further escalation. This strike could have lasting effects on regional security dynamics. The aftermath of the Flamingo missile strike has created widespread reactions, both in Crimea and internationally. Reports suggest that Russian forces are scrambling to regroup, with many soldiers retreating to secondary positions while assessing damage to their infrastructure. Analysts highlight that the Flamingo missile's precision and apparent effectiveness could influence the morale of Russian troops, potentially causing hesitations in future operations. Social media has been flooded with videos and images claiming to show abandoned Russian military equipment, though some remain unverified. In parallel, Ukraine has publicly emphasized that its operations are targeted and strategic, aiming to weaken military installations without harming civilians. International response has been mixed, with some governments expressing concern over the escalation, while others urge diplomatic channels to resolve tensions. Experts also point out that the Black Sea region is now under heightened scrutiny, as further missile strikes could have consequences for regional shipping routes and naval deployments. Economists note that any prolonged conflict in Crimea could impact energy supplies and trade flows, adding pressure to international markets. Meanwhile, news agencies continue to track troop movements, satellite imagery, and eyewitness accounts to provide a clearer picture of the situation on the ground. Civilian reactions are also notable, with residents expressing fear, uncertainty, and in some cases, support for Ukraine's actions. The rapidly changing dynamics in Crimea highlight the unpredictable nature of modern conflicts and the high stakes involved for all parties. As the situation in Crimea unfolds, military analysts are examining the tactical significance of the Flamingo missile strike. The operation reportedly targeted key command centers, ammunition depots, and logistical hubs, which are essential for maintaining Russian military operations in the region. Experts suggest that by striking these specific locations, Ukraine could significantly slow down Russian mobilization and limit their ability to respond to further attacks. Observers also note that the psychological impact of seeing troops retreat or abandon positions can be as powerful as the physical damage caused by the strike. International media coverage has amplified the story, showing maps, satellite imagery, and eyewitness accounts of the aftermath, which has contributed to widespread global attention. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials continue to frame the operation as precise and calculated, emphasizing their intent to minimize collateral damage while achieving strategic objectives. In Crimea, civilians are caught in a state of heightened alert, with many expressing concern about potential escalation and further strikes. Analysts warn that the situation could remain fluid, with additional military actions possible in the coming days. Governments around the world are reportedly monitoring developments closely, while issuing statements encouraging restraint and caution. The balance of power in Crimea may be shifting subtly, as Ukraine demonstrates its increasing operational capabilities. This strike also serves as a reminder of the evolving nature of modern warfare and the role of advanced missile technology in contemporary conflicts. In the wake of the Flamingo missile strike, analysts are exploring the broader implications for the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. The strike is seen as a demonstration of Ukraine's growing technological and strategic capabilities, highlighting how advanced missile systems can influence the dynamics of modern warfare. Military experts suggest that the ability to execute precise strikes deep within contested territory can serve both tactical and psychological objectives, potentially forcing adversaries to reconsider their positions. Social media and independent reporting have shown images and video footage that claim to depict Russian forces retreating from previously fortified areas, although verification remains ongoing. At the same time, Ukrainian officials continue to emphasize that their operations are carefully calculated to target military infrastructure while avoiding civilian areas. International observers have highlighted the potential ripple effects of such strikes, including shifts in regional security, changes in military deployments, and heightened monitoring of key areas such as the Black Sea and Crimea. Economists and trade analysts note that any escalation could have effects on energy supply routes and commerce, adding pressure to international markets. For civilians in Crimea, the unfolding situation creates uncertainty, fear, and anxiety about what may happen next. The combination of strategic precision, media coverage, and civilian awareness makes this strike a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict, illustrating how technology, planning, and communication intersect in modern military operations. Following the initial strike, the focus has shifted to how Russian military command is responding to the rapidly changing situation in Crimea. Analysts note that Russian forces are reportedly reassessing their positions, strengthening defenses in some areas while relocating troops from others. The sudden withdrawal of personnel from key bases has been highlighted by multiple media outlets, and while some reports remain unverified, satellite imagery suggests noticeable activity and movement across military installations. Ukrainian authorities have emphasized that the Flamingo missile is a precision weapon, allowing them to strike strategic locations without endangering civilians, which is a significant point in their public messaging. International experts are closely examining the operation to understand its potential impact on future engagements, noting that it could shift the tactical balance in Crimea. The psychological effect on troops cannot be understated, as witnessing rapid advances and unexpected strikes can influence morale, readiness, and decision-making. Civilians in the region remain alert, monitoring news and social media updates, while global observers track developments to assess potential escalation. Reports indicate that additional military measures could follow in the coming days, highlighting the fluid and unpredictable nature of the conflict. This strike is therefore seen not only as a military maneuver, but also as a strategic signal, demonstrating Ukraine's growing capabilities and sending a message that Crimea is increasingly vulnerable to targeted operations. The Flamingo missile strike has also captured the attention of international military analysts, who are closely studying its potential effects on the larger strategic picture. By reportedly hitting key Russian bases and infrastructure in Crimea, the operation could limit Russia's operational flexibility and slow down planned movements in the region. Experts note that such precision strikes require detailed intelligence, advanced targeting systems, and careful planning, all of which Ukraine appears to have successfully executed. Social media platforms have been flooded with videos and images claiming to show Russian troops abandoning certain positions, though independent verification is ongoing. The psychological impact of these events on Russian forces may be significant, potentially affecting confidence, morale, and readiness for future engagements. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials emphasize that the operation was carefully calculated to avoid civilian casualties, highlighting the growing importance of precision in modern warfare. Governments and defense organizations around the world are reportedly monitoring Crimea closely, issuing statements that encourage restraint and caution while assessing the potential for further escalation. For civilians in the region, uncertainty continues to grow, with many residents expressing concern about the unfolding situation. Analysts also point out that operations like this can serve as both tactical and symbolic demonstrations of capability, sending clear signals to adversaries. The Flamingo missile strike is therefore not just a military event, but a critical moment in the broader conflict, with implications for morale, strategy, and regional security. As the situation in Crimea continues to evolve, attention is also turning to the long-term implications of the Flamingo missile strike. Analysts emphasize that precision strikes like these not only impact immediate military operations, but can also alter strategic calculations for both sides. By reportedly targeting key Russian infrastructure, Ukraine may be creating conditions that limit Russia's operational options, disrupt supply lines, and complicate coordination between different units. Military experts also highlight that the visibility of such operations through media coverage can amplify their effect, influencing both local morale and international perception. Videos and images circulating online allegedly show Russian troops withdrawing from bases, which, if verified, could signal a significant shift in troop deployment patterns. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials continue to frame the strike as targeted and responsible, aiming to minimize collateral damage while sending a clear message about their capabilities. Governments around the world are closely watching developments, issuing statements urging restraint and calling for diplomatic solutions to avoid further escalation. For civilians in Crimea, the unfolding events are a source of anxiety and uncertainty as they try to navigate daily life amid changing military dynamics. The strike serves as a reminder of how modern conflicts increasingly combine technology, strategy, and communication to achieve objectives beyond immediate battlefield gains, influencing both perception and reality. The ongoing developments in Crimea following the Flamingo missile strike have also drawn attention to the role of intelligence and surveillance in modern warfare. Analysts point out that the success of such operations relies heavily on accurate information regarding troop locations, base layouts, and logistical routes. Reports suggest that Ukraine may have gathered detailed intelligence to ensure the strike targeted strategic military installations while avoiding civilian areas. The effectiveness of precision strikes can influence the decisions of commanders on the ground, as unexpected losses or damage may force them to reconsider tactics and reposition forces. Social media footage, though not always verified, has reportedly shown Russian troops withdrawing from key positions, which adds to the perception of disruption and strategic impact. Internationally, governments are monitoring these developments closely, evaluating potential risks of escalation, and considering diplomatic measures to maintain regional stability. Civilians continue to face uncertainty and heightened tension, navigating daily life amid reports of missile strikes and troop movements. Military experts emphasize that the psychological effects of these operations can be as impactful as physical damage, influencing morale, confidence, and readiness for future engagements. As Ukraine continues to demonstrate its operational capabilities, the situation in Crimea serves as a case study in how precision, strategy, and information can shape the course of modern conflicts, highlighting the complex interplay between military action, perception, and international attention. As we wrap up the coverage of the Flamingo missile strike in Crimea, it's clear that this operation has significant implications for the ongoing conflict. Analysts emphasize that Ukraine's ability to execute precise strikes against strategic targets demonstrates growing military sophistication, while also sending a message about its operational capabilities. Reports of Russian troops reportedly retreating from key positions, combined with satellite imagery and eyewitness accounts, suggest that the strike has disrupted certain military operations and created uncertainty in command structures. Civilians in Crimea continue to monitor developments closely, and international observers remain focused on potential escalation and regional security concerns. Governments around the world have called for restraint, emphasizing the need for careful navigation to avoid further conflict. The situation highlights the evolving nature of modern warfare, where technology, intelligence, and precision weaponry play a crucial role in shaping outcomes. Ukraine's approach also demonstrates the importance of strategic communication, showing that effectively combining military action with messaging can influence both local and global perceptions. As the situation develops, staying informed through credible sources is essential to understand the full context and implications. If you found this update informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest news and analysis on global events. Click the notification bell to stay updated on all breaking developments. Your support helps us bring you accurate, timely, and safe reporting from conflict zones and critical regions around the world.